have right here. This is for the Aries. This is what the zodiac necklace looks like outside of its tag. These are zodiac sign necklace, you know, for you, your friends, your mom, your dad. These are beautiful and they're on sale. I mean, don't want to miss out. Really cute, really fun, and very cheap. Check that out on the website down below. The seventh house is the house of relations, one-on-one ties, business partners, and most of all, enemies. People you can't stand. It also represents the harmony that you have in relationships, your life and death power struggles and relationships. We might not notice this part of ourselves because this is the part of us that we do not identify with. It's the part of us that people showed us when we were young and we decided to repress this part of us. So that's when the phenomenon happens and we seem to attract people to us that have traits that we are less visible with. And you know, your relationship is kind of like a mirror. So it almost mirrors back to you what you think you are not, but yet you so are. This house lies the truth about whether you like someone that is older or someone that is young and less mature. This represents the house that you like. If you like someone that is fun or that is more so cool, chill type of person, not so very lively or out there kind of person. Like a seventh house Scorpio will be different from a seventh house Leo. That's why you have to look at this house and look at what sign does this house have and what patterns of you that you recognize within this house. This house also tells you, will you marry once or twice? It's almost like the love lines on your hand. Will you marry once or twice or too many times? Will there be hard life lessons? Will you sacrifice yourself? Are you lucky in love? Love a tragic place? That's this house tells you a lot about. Old astrology books may actually tell you this house is about May to December, love, relationships, or all about delays in marriage, whether you will get married today, tomorrow, or next year. This house also tells you about the relationships you attract and the people that you may attract. All the planets in this house, or one planet, however, the sign as well, affects your relationships. So please pay attention to the transits that these houses may have as well. Transits to the seventh house can indicate a beginning of a long-lasting relationship or temporary relationship, as well as the ending of a relationship. When planets trine or sextile or square this house, the relationships that you are in may go through very good or bad changes, or it could tell you a lot about your marital status. Squares and oppositions can bring a rather destructive or complicated time in your relationships. It's all about what is squaring and opposing the planets in this house. It may be even more intense if the transiting planets are Uranus, Pluto, or Saturn. This house may represent the second child in a native's life as opposed to the fifth house representing the first child. This house also represents legal contracts and the power struggles you may face during partnerships at work. This house represents spiritual marriages and everything in between, like the character of your lover and the character of yourself in a relationship. So let's talk about planets in the seventh house. Uranus in the seventh house may show someone who is very emotionally detached in relationships or have a very unconventional way of having a relationship. Like you and your partner may not like to show public displays of affection, or you may even have your own room, live in an RV, or just simply it's about freedom within your relationships, having a sense of self outside of your relationships. With Jupiter in the seventh house, you open your partner up to new horizons and you show them new possibilities and keep them from being mediocre and show them what the world can really offer. That's your biggest thing within relationships if you have Jupiter in the seventh house. You guys probably also travel together a lot and do things very out of the ordinary with Jupiter in the seventh house. This person may even push you to reach your full potential and follow what your calling in life may be. Okay, with Saturn in the 7th house, holy shit. Okay, you have the teacher, the limitator, the procrastinator, okay, the person that just wants to work in the 7th house. So you may be someone that limits yourself from trusting your partner. You may be someone that has to go through very tough life lessons with your partner, power struggles, money struggles with your partner, or just someone that is very disciplined within love and complicit and okay with love. This person actually makes for a very loyal and long-lasting relationship style person. Pluto in the 7th house. You're very territorial of your person. You're very relationship oriented. People may think you're jealous, but I think when you have the right person, you trust them enough to be around them to that point. However, in the beginning of relationships, you can face power struggles and wanting to control or maybe manipulate your partner. Someone who very much has transformational themes within your relationships through your partners. You find yourself a lot through your partners and transform through them. Sun in the 7th house. This part right here really matters because Sun in the 7th house people may think they don't have an ego until they meet their partner or they get into business relationships and they see their ego come about. Okay, so you have to be very cautious of that. Ego and pride and sense of ownership are in the 7th. Sun in the 7th house people tend to spend their entire lives looking for the one. They tend to look for this happiness, this joy that like the sun is supposed to radiate, but really it's within ourselves. Also, we may radiate this glow and sun and wanting to be admired when we're in relationships. Granted, it depends on your moon sign because the moon is your emotional self. But 7th in the sun house people really like people that are fun and exciting in relationships. They also may have problems with other people's ego within relationships. So, a 7th house stellium. Your sense of self, your sense of your attention gets wrapped up into your relationships. You totally lose yourself in other people with a 7th house stellium. It's like they swallow you whole, your relationships. So they tend to break off relationships just to find themselves again, which can be very destructive as we see. Libra traits may manifest in relationships, especially when being indecisive on who you may want as a partner or who you are. The 7th house stellium can also manifest as someone with a lot of patience, a lot of clients in their everyday life. Stellium for a career is good for lawyers, psychologists, consultants, things of that nature. The profession may take up so much of their identity, so much of their energy, to the point that they lose their sense of self, they lose their identity in others. It is just much easier for the native to be a loner. Also, this placement means that you like to be the center of attention in your relationships. Actually be the best negotiator or a very good negotiator with others with this placement. Your identity is very much so wrapped up into your work, so please make sure that you are going back to the 1st house, which is opposite of the 7th house, and finding your true identity, finding who you are with the 7th house stellium, because you can very much get wrapped up into other people's energy with a 7th house stellium. That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.